Alright, so today's video is going to be on how to grease and maintenance a Kubota BX23S. So for starters, we're going to check everything under the hood and then we'll go over the rest of the tractor and front loader. So what you want to do is make sure your bumper is nice and popped out. Pull this lever back, lift up the hood. So you have your coolant reservoir right there and your dipstick right there. So check the coolant. I can see from here, don't know if you guys can. Coolant's right on high. Looks like it's a little bit over, but it's not even running right now or warmed up. So right there's the dipstick. So what we're gonna do is grab a paper towel. Make sure it's a clean one because you don't want to get any dirt inside your engine at all. So let's pop this right here. Even though if your tractor's been sitting for a while, always wipe it off, even though it would settle, because you want to make sure you get that perfect reading. Alright, right on full. I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera or read it. It's right on full though. Alright. So that's everything under the hood. So we can go ahead and shut this now. It doesn't take much force. You just gotta gently put it down. Actually, let's go ahead and check the air filter where we got the hood up. So I don't know if it's on all models, but just these clips. I think these are pretty common. Make sure you lift them up all the way so you don't damage them. Alright, looks a little dirty. Probably just blow that out with an air gun. We don't want to take too much time up in the video, so we'll do that off camera. And then go ahead and put that back on how it came. Yeah, anything you take off, especially during maintenance, make sure you put back on because you could be opening up something to cause damage to the tractor itself. Close that. Alright, so now what we're going to do is check the front loader, identify any grease fittings. So we have one here, one up in there, which we'll have to start it up, get the hydraulic fluid nice and hot to lift it up to be able to grease that because we don't want to damage the pump or blow any seals. We checked the front, we have a fitting there, and I think that's it. Oh no, we have some up in here as well. So like I said, that will be have to lift up. So I'm actually gonna do the front loader off camera, but we can definitely grease this deck. So let's identify these fittings. So we have one right here in this pulley, one there, another one over on that pulley, and it looks like we have a little tiny one on that dry shaft. And I think there's one up on that yoke as well. So let's get the grease gun and get that. Alright, so once you got your grease gun, you already identified your fittings. Make sure you wipe them off so they're clean. And then you don't want to over grease it. And then there's another one way up in here, right there. Alright, so let's get the other side and then we'll continue on. Alright, we got one more fitting down in here. Alright, so we got all of them. Now, there's this slip joint right here, which what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that off. I'm going to wipe all the grease off of that and I'll put it on. I'm going to do that off camera because I want to make sure the splines line up correctly along with the shafts so don't get very bad vibrations when it's in operating use. So, now, come to this side. Grease that pulley as well. Like I said, we already did the front loader, so now check for just any fittings on the tractor itself. I've never greased the tractor, so like I said, it's also going to be on how to locate fittings. So you're going to have to look on spots that have a little bit of articulation and movement. So let's check under here. I'm not seeing any right there. You can get a glance from the other side. You don't see any. So let's go to the back. Check in there. I don't think there'd be any back in here either. Also, while you're doing this, just make sure everything looks okay on your tractor, especially tractors that are in high use. Alright, so now we're going to try to grease everything we can without having to move any parts to blow seals or move that really stiff hydraulic fluid. So we're gonna just get a paper towel, clean the top of these fittings off. These things can get nasty. The dealership over greased it, but they haven't been greased in a while. Let's see if we're able to get to these at all. Oh, yeah, right here. The fitting's facing down. So, you guys want to see right there's the fitting. They're pretty easy to identify because it's just a little nub sticking out. Right there it is. And then once you wipe it off, it'll be nice and clean. And then you can put fresh grease in there without putting in real nasty dirt, crap, and everything else. And then right here's the other fitting. If you can see it right there, that little silver thing. So it's facing down, which I might actually have an adapter for the grease gun to get that. I'll show you guys here in a second. So let's wipe this side down as well. It's a lot easier to get if you lift it up, but I'm not trying to blow any seals. All right, so we got that wiped off. So now what we're gonna go ahead and do is get the grease gun and grease all that. All right, so wipe that fitting off nice and easy. Now let's stick this on here. Make sure you keep an eye and make sure if grease is coming out. If there's water, keep going until the water comes out and then there's grease. All right, I see the fresh grease coming out. Perfect. All right, now what we're gonna do is come down here, grab the camera. Like I said, we got this right here. Yeah, so we're not gonna be able to get that with this type of fitting. We're gonna have to get the other one with the adapter on it. So let's go to the other side. Grease that fitting. Like I said, if there's any water, keep going till the water comes out. Or until you see fresh grease. Only on like parts that it's okay for grease to leak out, but if you're doing like, say, slag adjusters or anything, you don't want to blow the seals. All right, that one didn't take very much. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, go ahead and do the fittings that are up under here. Here. All right, grease came out of that pretty quickly, so that's pretty good. So it means nothing's really leaking or coming out that's not supposed to come out. So let's face the camera up again. This one might be a little bit hard to see. Oh, wrong one. That's why it's hard to see. Okay. Also, if you do it, just wait till you hear like a popping noise or clicking noise. That's the best indicator that something is completely greased and good to go. But always double check once you hear that clicking noise. So we got everything greased and checked out. All right, so once you got everything greased and checked out, it's good to go over everything, make sure you did. So we got everything under the hood. Got the front loader, except for these. That's gonna have to be lifted up and then greased. And then we got the deck. And I checked everything else, so that's basically just how you grease, maintenance, and locate grease fittings on your Kubota BX23S.